Hey everybody, Paul, Scott Family Amazeum. Actually, not even close to Scott Family Amazeum right now. I've said that so much that I just can't stop saying it. No, I'm actually in my workshop here at home. We're all at home. I know you're at home. And I'm with Joel Gordon, Making Tinkering Manager today. Here in my workshop, we're going to talk a little bit about the maker movement. You know, Joel, it seems like it seems like almost a lifetime since we had a Maker Summit.
Oh man, doesn't it?
It was only the end of January.
I'll
January
be honest,
30th.
at this point, Paul, it feels like a lifetime since I've gone to Walmart.
Gone to Walmart. Well, you know, Walmart delivers, so we don't.
Oh,
have to
that's
worry,
right.
we
Yeah,
don't have
I
to worry
discovered
so
that
much
the other day
about going there, but
I will take advantage.
Yeah, it does seem like a long time since we brought the whole Arkansas, or as many of the Arkansas maker community and as many members of the ecosystem here to Springdale. We could round up and had some great conversation.
We did.
And you know, the interesting thing is, like, who would have thought, huh? Who would have thought that making those connections would have turned into something so positive so fast?
I see where you're going with that now. Who would have thought? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, man, it was just good energy. Just good people in a room, you know? That's what you always want, right? Yeah, we had some great people. We, of course, you know, our keynote, Dale Doherty, founder of Make Magazine, is just a wonderful human being. We had so many good speakers, so many great topics, from education to small business and startup. And yeah, everybody was really excited. It was just good energy. Yeah. Everybody left with a mission.
Yeah, everybody's ready to go out there and start making something and staying connected. And now we find ourselves 6 feet apart wherever we go and in our homes. But yet, you know, the maker community is still stepping up.
We are. We're all still connected. In fact, our virtual community in a lot of ways feels more connected now than even a year ago. You know, you know this. So I've been involved in Nation of Makers for quite a few years. Mm-hmm. So those of you who don't know, Nation of Makers is a 501c3, not-for-profit that was originally came out of the technology cabinet under the Obama White House, and now it's its own 501c3, and it supports maker missions, whether it's education or maker spaces, startup businesses who are doing small manufacturing design. So right when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, we all sort of found ourselves with our plaid shirts down. We got caught without PPE. We didn't have personal protective equipment that a lot of medical professionals needed, and most of our big major manufacturing was overseas. And because COVID-19 started in China, our supply chain just kind of shut down, you know? So a lot of makers stepped up. They made personal protection equipment, and everything from face shields to cloth surgical masks, mm-hmm. to well, I mean, in Italy and in a couple of places in the United States, they were making what are called Venturi valves, and Venturi valves are part of a very key ingredient for ventilators that are saving people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I know that here in Northwest Arkansas, you and a number of other makers in the region came together and created a very important piece of equipment that wasn't necessarily it was a personal protective piece of equipment, but it wasn't something that you would normally think of. No. With the intubation shields?
Yeah, the intubation or aspiration shields. Just had a few names and a few iterations at this point. So that was the concept for it came from a doctor in Taiwan, Dr. Li Lei. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's spelled L-A-I. But he came up with this idea for what he called an intubation shield. So when you intubate a patient, you actually put the intubation piece down their throat, so you open up their windpipe so they can breathe, and you insert an oxygen tube. It can be a rough procedure, particularly if you have a patient who isn't unconscious. If they're semi-conscious, their natural inclination is to sort of fight you, and they aspirate, they cough while this is happening. So you have aspiration that's in the air, and of course COVID-19 is spread that way. So he came up with this idea of taking basically a plexiglass acrylic box that is open on one side, that sort of goes over the patient's head and shoulders, and has a couple of holes cut in the back so they can reach through and they can actually perform the intubation. And when the patient aspirates, it more or less stays inside the box. So some folks saw that. Dayton Castleman in particular, who's a maker here in Northwest Arkansas, Dayton contacted me and said, is there any way that you could prototype this for Mercy Hospital? That was the first one. So I said, sure, I'll make the first one. So Dr. Lai actually posted online a sort of a rough drawing with some measurements. And I discovered very quickly that Taiwanese people are not American size. So we did some modifications. I laid it out in CAD, computer-aided design, and made that first prototype that Mercy Hospital tested for us. So then the doctors got back to me and said, we love this, we don't like this. If the holes were a little bigger, if they were a little higher. So I changed my drawings, moved things about 2 inches in one direction and 1 inch in another direction, shifted things around. And I said, so that's it, that's what you want? And they said, yeah. And I said, great, well, if you're happy with that, then I'm going to publish these files so that other people can build them. So if you have a CNC machine or a laser cutter like I do, and you have good CAD files, then you have everything that you need to construct something, because the machine understands the CAD and it makes the object. So I shared that online, and it sort of went viral. People all over the country were calling me. I got a call from Ireland, I got a call from France, people who are interested, because they don't want to just blindly use things. They want to know that it's been vetted by somebody. So I spoke to the doctors at Mercy Hospital. We have these very qualified professionals who are here, and I shared that information. Yeah, and that's not all. That was sort of where it started, and then it was face shields and surgical masks, and it just sort of took off. So we had individual makers in Northwest Arkansas. We had University of Arkansas Architecture and the sculpture department and the design department were all working on face shields and other objects. We had NWAC got involved. NWAC is along with me, we're laser cutting cloth that's being used to make surgical masks, and that's a program that's being headed by Robin Wallace Atkinson, who has the Arkansas Arts and Fashion Forum. They're doing an incredible job. Then it was small manufacturers. So RoArc got involved in making the intubation aspiration chambers. A company called Hogeye in Fayetteville was making face shields. It's been amazing, and that's just locally.
Right.
All over the world, this has been happening.
Yeah, it seemed like there was just something, unfortunately, that was a catalyst for getting the maker community to step up and say, not step up, but to have this opportunity to go, you know what, we have these tools, we have these skills. Here's a way for them to quickly and effectively put into production something that ultimately is going to save some lives.
Yeah, and that was really it. Makers. You've heard me make this joke before. Makers love a problem. It's like throwing a ham sandwich into a room full of hungry people. You give a bunch of makers a problem to solve, and they're going to figure it out. That's what we love. We love that.